Hello, hello, Reseller Mom here, and I have the pleasure of meeting with Samuel from BQool again. Always a pleasure to have you on. How have you been?
Hi, Lucy. Yeah, it's always a pleasure to join you, and want to send a big shout out to all the people in the Reseller Mom community, as well as Selling with Tina. Yeah, we send our warmest regards, and we wish you the best for your business. Yeah, I've been doing well. Um, yeah, it's been some time since we last talked, and there's a lot of new updates that we have.
Awesome. I'm so excited to hear about all of the updates. And I guess you have some examples for us and some new features. So I'm super excited to hear about all that.
Absolutely. Um, just to to get started, I'm wondering, does everyone in your channel do they know what a repricer do or like?
I would say so. I would say most people that have been selling for a little bit know what a repricer is. But why don't you go ahead and kind of highlight Be Cool and its repricing abilities?
Okay, absolutely, yeah. So just to give people some background, what a repricer does, if you're new, if you're and this might be a refresher for you, a repricer will reprice your prices between a min price and a max price that you set. And why is that important? Because as we go into Q4, there's actually even more competitors who are selling a lot of the same products. So you want to stay competitive. And part of staying competitive is you want to adjust your prices depending on how much demand there is at the time. And then there's basically different strategies. Sometimes you want to win the buy box if you want to get more sales. So let's say you have a listing, you finally sourced it, you sent it into Amazon, you've used some of your storage for that. You want to get sales for that product, but you're not getting any sales. So that's when a repricer comes in, because uh, it's going to reprice more to make you more competitively. And you might not have the time to be looking at the prices day in and day out, because that's going to take a lot of time as you get more ASINs. So, whether you're starting out, you're trying to get sales in order to get ungated for more products, or let's say you have a lot of ASINs, you want to save time. You don't have time to reprice your listings. It's just just too much manual work. Then you use a repricer, and that can help you get more sales, and also for some products can increase your profits as well. And we recommend using an AI repricer, because the AI repricer will help you get the optimum prices um, for the specific ASIN. We'll talk a little bit more about that as well. Yeah. So,
Nice.
um, yeah, Lucy, when did you start using a repricer?
Oh boy. Now you could test my memory. I started selling in 2015, and I started with a really terrible repricer, so we won't talk about that brand, but I do not ever talk about them because I don't want any traffic going to them. It was horrible. It was not intuitive. It wasn't good. It was just like I couldn't figure it out, and it was just more complicated than it needed to be. And I'm not saying that I'm a super smart person, but I typically can grasp most things, and even with customer support, it wasn't great. And then I found Be Cool, and so that's the repricer who we've supported for years and years. And I'll say maybe 2017, 2018, I started
Okay.
on board
Okay.
with you. I can't
Yeah.
remember. And then I remember when the AI came out, and that was such a huge thing. And that was what, 2 years ago, right? Give or take?
Yeah, for BQool, our AI came out probably around maybe 3 or 4 years ago.
3 or
Yeah, and
4
then
years
so
ago. Okay.
our AI is quite mature now, and
Yeah.
we've had some updates since then to really get people, depending on what they would like, we could help them to get more sales or to get more profits. So let me just jump in and show you that it's not difficult, it's not complicated.
Mm-mm.
Anybody can do it, especially like Lucy, you're able to do it. Like you're able to start in 2017. So we've been around for a long time, and we could just show you like how to use our repricer in a very easy to use way. Basically, there's just three simple steps. Yeah, so it's not too difficult to start. So I'm going to share my screen here and just go into the software. For everyone, if you haven't signed up yet, make sure to use Lucy's link, down below, or to sign up, go to BQool.com, start a free trial. We offer a 14-day free trial. No credit card is needed. So you can just, go for a test drive before you decide to invest into the tool. So once you signed up, it takes maybe 6 to 8 hours to download all of your listings. And then this is the screen that you'll start out with. And then there's a lot of places you can learn more how to use the software. There's a learn more button here. If you press on it, it would show you more videos of how to do the configurations, how to set up in case you want to get a refresher. And then you'll be spending most of your time inside the active listing tab here. Yeah, so this is the active listing tab. Here you'll see all the ASINs that come in. And then, the step number 1 is inserting your costs. So you can actually skip this step if you already have your min and max price that you want to set. Perhaps, when you were sourcing the product, you already have min and max prices that you looked at Keepa, or you found other ways. So we're going to do a quick exercise here. So step number 1, you insert your costs. In our specific example, we just put in $5 for our costs, and then we go into the profit calculator. And now there's 2 different ways that you can go around this. The first step is you can go and look at the competitor analysis. So we actually have a competitor analysis tool here, just right underneath each of the listings, so you could see what other people are selling the product for. And then let me just give you an example here. So Lucy, let me just pull that up. And then I just want to ask you, how do you usually set your prices?
I typically do an ROI and then do a progressive, start off with 30, I'll just say 30%. And then after it's been for sale for X amount of weeks, go down to 20, then go down to 10, and then maybe 5, or then break even based on inventory age. So that's my go-to for most products.
Okay.
Ones that are replenishable, though, if I'm always getting that item and I'm constantly getting that item, then I want to set to more of a velocity way, and not so much an inventory age, because you're always replenishing it, right? So if I sell 30 a month, then I just want to keep that 30 a month velocity and maximize my profits. So, a couple different strategies.
Okay. Yeah. So in your strategy, it's more advanced because you've been selling for some time now. And then we have inventory age repricing, as well as, repricing depending on how much sales that you want. Let's say in the last 7 days, 14 days, 30 days. So we have those in our conditional repricing. But then I just want to show everyone the basics first, and then you can build on top of that. So let me just share my screen again here. And here we're going to be inside the competitive analysis tool that I was telling you about. If you can see it on the screen. So here's a competitive analysis tool. Let me just blow that up. Yeah. And then so when you're setting your min and max prices, you can look at the competitor analysis tool to see what your competitors are selling it at, and also what the non-Amazon competitive price is. In some cases, if we list a non-Amazon competitor price, if you list higher than that price as your max price, it's possible to get the listed for that. And then so our recommendation when you set the price is to have something, have your max price lower than the non-Amazon competitive price, and also above, because sometimes they also will have a non-Amazon competitive price for the lower spectrum as well. So that's one step. And the second step we would do is we would also check, also, let's say on Keepa, for example. I'm just going to use this product, for example. We would see, what the lowest price was in the last 3 months and what the highest price is as well. And then let's say for some seasonal items, I might look up all the way to a year to see what the same product sold for last year, so I can determine what my min and max price is. Once I know that, let's say for this item, I want according to Lucy, I want 30%. So I set it at 30%. I click the reload button. This will calculate my min price for me. And then I do the same steps for my max price. Here, my max price, I have about a 50% ROI. And then I can pick a repricing rule. So step number 1 was the cost, inserting your costs. And then you're, finding your, and then step number 2 was setting your min and max prices. And step number 3 is just picking up a repricing rule. For setting your costs, we also have integrations as well with, let's say, Seller Amp, also with Inventory Lab and Boxem. So if you already have your costs in there, you can pull your costs into BQool from those other softwares if you're using them. You could also insert it manually yourself as well as uploading it as well, depending on how many listings that you have. But for our demo purpose, we just show you the simplest way. And then once you do that, the next step is to pick a repricing rule. Yeah. So for the repricing rule, we would recommend everyone to get started using the AI equalizer, which gives you like an equal amount of sales and also profit. I want to ask your opinion, Lucy. Like for you, when you're using BQool, like which repricing rule do you recommend people to use?
I think the equalizer is a great one to, hold on, I'll remove your screen for just a second here. There we go. I can pop it back up and down as we go too. But the equalizer is great. Like if you're just starting off and you're like, I don't know what to do, the equalizer is great. What I've found though is like, let's say I need, like my sales are down and I just need a boost in sales. I got bills to pay or whatnot. I want to say it was called the AI booster.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the AI sales booster. That's right.
The AI booster. I don't want to butcher the names. It's been a long day, but the AI booster was great because it would give you kind of some added velocity for those. And that was great if you've, like, if I had some negative feedback and I just got that negative feedback, but my sales are down and I needed to kind of jumpstart that velocity back up. But then if I'm pretty good on velocity and I need more profit, then you can do that one with, I can't remember the name of it. AI. Oh goodness. What's the one that maximizes the profit?
There's AI Profit Maximizer.
There we go. Profit Maximizer. So, if I wanted to maximize my profit, I would do that one, especially on like tennis shoes and things like that. When you're outsourcing and you're sourcing, I'll call them bookends, but the really odd sizes and colors, you want to get the most profit for that. I don't really care if I sell 50 a month. It's because I got 50 different shoes and they're all different. So I want to put the AI profit booster on that kind of inventory. And then so I would use the sales velocity one. Let's say it's December 22nd. I want to get rid of my Christmas inventory. I'm going to drop my ROI requirements down and just try to get my inventory moved so I don't wind up with a bunch of Christmas stuff in January. So everything, right. You got to see what is your inventory and the ideal time and velocity that you want to sell at.
So I think we have a concept which everyone need to know is that when you set your repricing, it really depends on demand for the product. Mm-hmm. Also, how much inventory do you have of the product? Yeah. And based on that, you will determine whether you want to get more sales, you want to go more aggressive for the sales, like what Lucy said, or you want to maintain the same level, or you want to get more profit for the item. So we actually have 3 different suggested repricing rules that we wanted to share with you. And then we'll go through some actual examples of some products to share with people like, oh, what repricing rule you should pick. Yeah. So let's do that. So going back into the software here, let me just show what that looks like on our BQool interface here. You can see we actually have 4 different types of rules. For most of you starting out, you would stay in AI-powered win buy box or AI-powered match buy box. Those are the 2 that you would stay in. So we talked about the AI win equalizer, and that's the one we recommend when you first get started. And then if you want to get more sales, you could use the AI Win Sales Booster or the AI Win Sales Maximizer, and use this with a caution, because this is more for a liquidation. This is going to really try to get you sales.
If you turn that one on, you get all the sales and you clear out your inventory, which is nice if that's what you're trying to do.
If that's what you're trying to do, yeah. And then we also have the AI powered match buy box. And I don't think we talked too much about this last time, but we have the AI powered match buy box, and these will only go down to the buy box price, and then it's going to raise the price from there. Yeah, so these are suitable for higher profits. So usually if there's lower competition, usually in our experience, we found that if it's less than 10, then this could work, because a lot of times, like, you don't want to undercut, but there's other competitors on the listing as well too. Yeah, so the different strategy is, one, for the AI powered win buy box, these will undercut the buy box price. For the AI powered match buy box, these will only go till your buy box price. And then inside these, we actually have even some more profit-focused repricing rules as well, specific settings. So let me just quickly show you these new settings we have while we're inside the repricing rule. We have a feature, what we call the price looping, which is available for the AI-powered match buy box rules, where if you turn it on, you can set it to go up in price, proactively every 3 hours, up to 8 times a day. And you can set it, you want the buy box price plus, let's say, 10%. And then this will do that for you. So every 3 hours or so, then it would bring up the price to the buy box price plus 10%, and it would stay there for 30 minutes. So this is one way that you can get higher profits, especially in Q4, if you're setting this up for some products that have more demand. And we'll show you some of these products here that are possibly like that. There's other settings as well. I'm not going to go into every detail. We actually have videos all about this, but let's say, when the buy box is suppressed, when you're the only seller, and we also have a used buy box as well. So we use buy box as a separate buy box, usually used, let's say, for booksellers or for people selling used items. And then one of the special settings for BQool is you could also compete with specific sellers. So let's say you're an FBM seller, you don't want to compete with FBM sellers. You also have that option. And we would recommend you can do that in Q4 if there's more demand, because you've actually sent the item to Amazon warehouse already. And during Q4, it's harder to send items because the checking in time is going to be longer than usual. So you want to really just be competing against other FBA sellers in some cases. And then so this is where you can set that up as well. So these are all Q4 more profit-oriented settings that you can do. And then we just want to go into an actual example here. So here's an example where we can see, and I'm giving you really general ideas, but of course you can go down in more detail and more granular as well. But here's the concept, right? So let's say this item, usually it's selling for $172, but we're seeing some spikes that goes up. There's actually a lot less offers. We're still selling maybe 300 per month. And in this example, let's say you were able to get your hands on, you have a limited supply, you have maybe only 10 to 20 items. So we could see that there's actually around less than 10 offers. There's 8 offers here. And our prediction is for this item, is very likely is going to go up, in the buy box price is probably going to go up because the offers continue to lower and lower. So people aren't able to get their hands on this item as easily. And then so in this specific case, we would recommend to use a repricing rule such as the AI grow profit that we were showing, because we would recommend that you only go to the buy box and then go above the buy box price for this specific example. Yeah. What's your suggestion, Lucy, from your experience when you if you're looking at a product like this?
So my go-to is products like that you see the offers going down is something that's been discontinued but still has demand. So they've taken
Right.
it off the shelves at Walmart's, Target's, whatever store. So I would hold out and put that price on the higher end, because I'm fine waiting 2 weeks to get a lot more profit for it while everybody else sells out and kind of brings down that buy box, because you're gonna get a lot of for that. An example of similar products like that you'll see is candy canes. We
Okay.
all, selling candy canes right now is not really worth it. There's candy canes everywhere, right? There's going to be candy canes on every shelf of every store for Q4. But some of those weird, odd flavors, pickles, and I don't know, there's some other weird flavors of candy canes out there. If you held on to them, if you got them on the clearance side of all these sales, when all those stores are trying to get rid of them, you go to the springtime and you'll see those candy cane prices jump back up to really ridiculous prices, because you can't get candy canes in April. They're not around. So there's a lot of products you see like that get discontinued. Cell phones, you see your cell phones and you see all the accessories come out, and then as the new cell phones come out, you'll see the old inventory die back. Um, Same with any sort of accessory that goes along with appliances, older
Yes, some of the
filters and
items
things like
that
that.
we see for this also like some products, let's say from pharmaceutical products, like maybe
Mhm.
there's some discounts. They
Yeah.
have a 2 for 1, and then the prices go back up. There's no more sale after that. So there's a limited time sale, and so there's people buy the product, but then they can't. If they source it again now, it's not as profitable. So for these items, we recommend you to hold them and also to use our profit focused repricing rules. And this
Mhm.
could get you more profits, especially in Q4, which would be really useful. Yeah. So um, that's example of, let's say, an item where there's more profit. Now there's an item here, where everything's all over the place as well. So in this other example here, we could see that the buy box price was lower, and then it went up, and it went back down, and then now it's just really tanking as there's more and more offers as well.
Mm.
So in this example, we might look at the year before, we might see who is winning the buy box. Like, you can go more granular, you can go into the data, you could actually see the buy box statistics here as well if you want to be really detailed. And we see that the buy box is being shared on this buy box through different sellers as well.
Mhm.
So something like this, where we're seeing that prices are probably going to be going down if there's more and more offers. We want to use like the AI win repricing rules, and we might use the AI win equalizer in this example. And then depending if we sell it or not, if we're not able to sell the product out, then we might put it to an even more aggressive repricing rule later on. Yeah, so this is what we would recommend. When we see the item, their prices are going down, the offers increasing, and we know that when there's 7 offers or so, the prices are probably going to stick to more around the lower end, like more near your min prices than your max prices. Then in this specific case, we'll want to try to sell out the product, maybe replenish it, and I think that brings us to a point where you can't be too attached to a single product. Like
Nope.
maybe it worked um, 3 months ago, 6 months ago, but things have changed. And then in Amazon, you have to keep on adapting. You have to keep on adapting your strategies. You have to continue to find different products to sell. And it's great when you find a replenishable item. Those are great as well too. Yeah, and then so you have to constantly be searching. It's like a treasure hunt. Yeah. What do you think, Lucy, from your experience selling for many many years?
It absolutely is a treasure hunt. And what is good selling is all over the place. I'll try a variety of products and I am always amazed at what does well and what is like, you think it will do well and then it's not done so well. With keep a boxes like the one that you just were showing, where you'll all of a sudden see a increase in buyers and a decrease in price. You always have to watch that because you never know when products are going to launch on more platforms or, have a surge of inventory out there. And I've seen that happen with, textbooks are a good example. You'll have textbooks issued for a particular class and they'll be like the price will hold on that particular textbook really well. And then once they get the new version out, that textbook like falls through the roof. Same with, best-selling books will do that too, where everybody's wanting to read the new whatever that's out, and then you'll see it drop off. With Q4 in particular, toys are kind of the hot thing. We've had a different hot toy every year, right? I think everybody can remember Tickle Me Elmo back in the day, where people were fighting over Tickle Me Elmo.
Right.
And Mandalorian was really hot one day. Anything with Mandalorian was selling. And Frozen, there was a Frozen fever going on. I haven't figured out what this year's hot thing is yet, but that's on my list to do for the next couple of weeks, is figure out what the new hot toy is. One year it was Polly Pockets. I had oodles and oodles of Polly Pockets coming out. But similarly, you've got to watch those prices and the demand to see what's going on, because now I think it was just the next year, couldn't sell a Polly Pocket to save my life. I mean, the keepographs were just terrible. So you can look at previous years for sure to get an idea, but you also have to look at, what's the demand for this year going to be when it comes to something like toys. Other products, like I said, will hold. And I mentioned the candy canes. Trader Joe items are just like this. There are certain things Trader Joe puts out seasonally, and then it's done. You can't get that product any other time of the year. So you'll see some weird keepographs with it where, there'll be like 50 sellers all of a sudden and the price tanks down. But if you hold out for 3 weeks, that price jumps way back up.
Yeah, I was hearing that for Trader Joe's, like they had these special bags, let's say for Halloween and other seasons, that they're like exclusives, that people would line up to get these bags, right? So if you had your hands on those bags, and at that time, you could probably, make a fortune. You could sell it for a much higher amount because people are willing to spend, even for Trader Joe, like a collectible from, Trader Joe. So that's really impressive. Yeah. So what you're saying, it really depends, right? Like what is hot, what's in, what's not. And then, so you have to pay attention to those market trends as well. And then that's the exciting thing. And then I wanted to show people like how can they tell, right? Because like you set different repricing rules. You want to know which one has a good performance, which is a bestseller, which is not a bestseller, which one should you replenish. So in our BQool dashboard, we have some of that data. And then if you want to go into specific ASINs, we can actually go more granular, looking at a specific ASIN if you want as well. So let me just quickly share a dashboard so people can see what that looks like. So yeah, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, perfect. No. Okay, so this is our dashboard. We don't make it too complicated, but we have the important information that that you need, so you can tell like how much sales that you have. You can determine like which repricing rules did you use, like which AI powered repricing rules. If you're using the conditional repricing rules, like the inventory age, also like depending on the available sales units, different other conditions that we have, or the rule-based rules, and you can see which ones are performing the best for you. If you're getting the sales, winning the buy box for you. And if you go down here, we have like the best sellers. So this one will show you which products are you getting the most sales for, and what are the products and which repricing rule are you using for that. You could also see the items where you have like the best buy box performance, and then for these, then that okay, maybe I can increase my prices because I'm getting the buy box, or these you want to replenish them because you're going to sell out of these products as well. So you can actually see that. And down the bottom here, we also have different filters. Yeah, I didn't talk too much about the filters, but basically you can see which products competitors are selling below your min prices, and then you want to pay attention to those listings because you probably aren't getting too much sales for them. because the competitor have the price lower than your min prices. So you want to check those out to see whether you want to make any adjustments. You can also see products that are your max prices, whether you want to continue to increase the prices for those or not. Also, if you're the only seller, you ask about talk about private label, right? Some of these private label items, maybe you're the only seller for them, that you created your own. So you want to see, for those items, whether you're getting the buy box, whether you're you'll get the buy box for the item, but whether you're getting demand, whether you're getting sales for them, you can also look at those items as well. And then there's other different filters, but those are some of the most common ones. And then a place that you can go to as well is going into the listing. And this is where the listing performance comes in place. So you could actually, you can look up a specific ASIN here, and you can see how did it perform, right? Which repricing rules did it use? And then what was the sales for that? What was the orders for that? And this can help you determine whether you should use that repricing rule or use a different repricing rule. And you can see what it was historically, like how that worked, and what was the average price that you sold the product for during that period of time that you used this specific repricing rule. So those are some places where you can decide whether or not this repricing rule works for you, whether the price you're setting for the min, for the max prices, those are suitable prices or not. And then also you could see, how much profit did you earn? Like, what was your sale for that specific item? So you can look at that in more granular detail as well. Yeah. So those are some of the places you can see them.
Those lists that you were just showing, I have to say that those are the lists that I use for a majority of trying to figure out what are you going to replenish and what are you not going to replenish.
Lucy, give me 1 second. I'm trying to see if I can hear you on my mic here, on my earphones.
All right. Can you hear me now?
Give me 1 second.
Sure.
All right. Testing. 1, 2, 3, testing.
Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
You can hear me? Okay. I can't hear you at the moment. Let me just check the audio settings here. Maybe I ran out of batteries for my.
He's added you another one.
Yours work? Yeah. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. Yeah. It's always good to have backup, and I think how BQool is different than some of our competitors in the market and other people is we have a large team of in-house engineers. Yeah. So everything is done in-house. So if there's any issues, we can get it fixed very quickly. Yeah. And then we have a large team of AI engineers, and that's one of our core strengths. So we continue to develop new products out for different people.
Yes, I have to say that BQool has been the easiest repricer to use when you're looking at complexity and, can I pick this up? Because nobody wants to disrupt their business with the possibility of pricing getting out of whack or getting messed up or losing the buy box for a period of time. There's a lot of anxiety when you start with a new software. Is it going to work? What's going to happen? And I can tell you every testimonial, including myself, when we have launched BQool and connected, automatically see an increase in profits, an increase in sales, and has been like, holy smokes, why didn't I do this earlier? And then I have to say that every time I've needed customer support, they've been there. Like if there's not a video about it, the response rate is amazing. And it's nice to have somebody that will answer you. And sometimes it's been like, hey, we're off this weekend. We'll get back to you on Monday. And it's like, oh, okay, well, at least it was a response versus some of these other companies you get, I don't know if it's called ghosted, but there's just no response. You're out in the void and you're like, I don't know if they got my email or didn't get my email or whatnot. And it's just always been really nice, the customer support with you guys.
We really care about our customers. And so we have different support shadows. We have live chat that's available 12 hours a day, Monday to Friday. And then we also have, you can contact us by email 24/7. And also we have one-on-one. So you can request to get one-on-one support as well. And and then so there's all these different support options because we want you to be successful. And we've been around for more than 12, 13 years. Yeah, so we really care about the customers. Some of our customers has been with us for over 9 or 10 years, almost from the start. Yeah, so and a lot of customers, they also come back as well, and we also welcome them with open arms.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I definitely have seen posts where people are like, oh, well, I'm going to try this or try that. And a lot of them wind up going back to BQool because you go over to the other platforms and there's something wrong, or they get linked up and then they lose a bunch of money and then they get pissed off, or they get a problem, technical problem, and there's nobody to help them. And it's very frustrating. We deal in technology all day long, right? It is a thing. And having support that's there means a lot, because when you don't have that support, the hours you spend in frustration does not leave a good taste in your mouth with that product. When you're done, you're like, oh, I would pay more just to not have the headache of the complexity of some of these products out there. But all the integrations have been really streamlined and really well. I haven't really had a whole lot of problems, and most of them, if I ever did have a problem, I think it was like my computer configuration working with whatever. So it was very user specific. It wasn't like, hey, your program doesn't work. It was like, hold on, I don't have my settings right. How can we fix this? Learning all of the stuff, I do have to say that when you go through, you guys have great little bubbles, or like, if you don't understand something, because there's a lot of settings. I got to be honest. There's a lot of settings in any repricer. And sometimes you don't know what those are, like, does this apply to me? Does it not apply to me? You guys have great little information bubbles that you can click on and see what does that mean. We talk about a lot of different products. We've got a lot of different sellers. Some people just do seasonal items. Some people do like shoes and clothing. Lots of different things going on. I did have a question with the new grading. We were talking about that this morning on Amazon, how clothing can now be graded. I assume that that's now just under the used products under your settings, right? Let's say I was a t-shirt seller or a shoe seller, and I wanted all my new, like used like new, or however they do it now, shoes, I can have those be repriced. So if I sell a pair of sneakers and the person tries them on and says, oh, this doesn't fit, and they send them back to Amazon, and Amazon straightens them out and then sells them under their new grading program, that will be captured by your system, right?
If Amazon has it in their system, they will send us the information, and then we'll receive the report. And our repricer can reprice for used items as well. So we've been repricing for used items. Mostly in our cases, used books from experience, used books. And if Amazon grades the product and then sends and then it gives us information that's a used item, then we would assume that that is a used item, and then we would use our used AI repricing rules for that. Yeah, and then we could also look at, like, specifically inside our rule base, there's also different conditions that you can rate different product, and depending on the different product, you could reprice it differently based on the condition. Yeah.
Okay.
And this would be in our rule base. Yeah.
Okay. I
we
love
offer this.
I have to say, I love the rule base. That's my
right.
That's my
you're
favorite.
More technical, right? Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I wanted to show the inventory age, like just to show what it looks like for people.
Yeah.
Just in case if they want to use similar repricing strategies like you do. Yeah.
So
let me.
So for those that are maybe not why he's bringing up the screen here, rule based is really cool, and what my go-to is. And what it means for me is, as my inventory ages, I get more aggressive on how fast I want to sell it. So I may start off with, a 50% ROI. And then after 2 or 3 weeks, I want to drop that down to 40%, 30%, 20%. And once it gets down to, gosh, it's been in that inventory, I'm going to start incurring fees, I want to start liquidating. So, as your inventory gets older, you can have more aggressive pricing strategies. And I'd say that's my favorite rule out of all of them here.
Let's show Lucy's favorite rule then. Yeah. So here's where we could set this up in our conditional repricing. And what conditional repricing means, it just means depending on the market conditions, you could switch between the different rules. You can switch between AI rules, you could switch between rule-based rules. You can set depending on the market conditions. And in this specific case, let's say inventory age conditions, you can set it up just like what Lucy said, depending on how long you have the item for. So here, let's say we have these defaults. And basically, when it gets to 91 and 180 days, we would go into the AI sales maximizer. And of course, you could customize this. And you
Yeah,
could
I think I
also
do.
change your min prices as well. Yeah, so
I
you can
think I
actually
do the
reset your min
booster
price.
first, and then I go to the maximizer.
Right. You can use the AI sales booster here. Yeah, so you can change these settings. In general, we would recommend when you first start using the product, you could use like the AI profit booster, or maybe you could use the AI match grow profit or match. Basically, you're using a more profit focused repricing rule in the first 30 days. And then you can switch to a more aggressive repricing strategy and then an even more aggressive one after maybe 90 days. Lucy, why do you use a more aggressive repricing strategy once it gets over 90 days?
I don't
Or
want
once it gets
fees,
longer?
and it's been sitting there. I got to get my capital back. I got to get that capital turned back into other inventory. And again, this is for all of my products that I'm not replenishing. Like you go and you buy. I've done a lot of shoes. I've done a lot of tennis shoes, and tennis shoes are not ones that you're typically going to purchase again, right? You're finding them on clearance or deals or whatnot. So you're going to buy, you're going to send in, and then once they're sold, it's done. So when I send that tennis shoe in, I want to initially make a sale within 30 to 60 days, right? And then after 60 days, I'm like, okay, I need to really mark it down, be more competitive. And that's typically like if there's then more sellers in there, you need to be a little bit more competitive and get it gone. But I don't want those shoes to sit there and age. Like they don't age well. The market changes. There's new shoes coming out. The capital invested in shoes. My tennis shoes typically cost me, I'll say $20 to $40 a pair. So, if you have 100 pairs in your inventory, that's quite a bit of capital. You want to get that sold and moving on. Same with like candy. A lot of times if let's say we're looking at Valentine's Day candy because it's coming right around the corner here. You want to get that inventory in and get that moved as soon as possible. So you want to have the best prices in January and maybe that first week of February. And then you want to get that candy moved. You don't want to have it come April because then you're going to wind up with bags of chocolate that do nothing. And the same goes with holiday candy right now if you're sending in holiday candy. So you want to get your inventory moved around. You don't want your aged inventory. You don't want your storage fees to creep up on you. Nobody likes paying storage fees.
Yeah, absolutely right. Do you mind showing the shared screen just to show people what the setting looks like? Yeah, so this is what the setting looks like when you're inside the inventory age. And let's say you're selling candy or selling shoes or other items. What we heard a lot from different sellers is a lot of sellers, they buy using credit cards and then they need to have the turnover within 60 days. And then so in that case, they would then lower the price until they get the sales, and they can then have more cash to buy more new items when they sell off the old products. So we've heard that a lot of people when they don't have access to a lot of capital, that is what they do as well to try to snowball and get more sales, build that up. So this is where you set up the conditional repricing, and this is the inventory age condition that we talked about. Yeah, we have other conditions other repricing for conditional repricing as well. And, we can go very granular, very detailed. But for today's purposes, we just want to show you the inventory age conditions that we do have. Yeah, so I think we covered, setting up the basics. And then if you want to do more advanced, you could use conditional repricing. I could also use role-based as well. Do you have any questions from your sellers for any, part of the repricer that you guys would like to know more about, and how they could get started as well?
As far as for our people, we were wondering what specifically any new things that you've brought to the table within I'll go with just the last year. We were kind of curious.
Okay. Yeah, absolutely. Let me just quickly show you some useful things that people could use in the last year that we've released. So when you're in the active listing tab here, we actually we have a instant ROI analyzer. So you can quickly put in different numbers here, and this would quickly calculate for you.
Nice.
So you can see exactly how much ROI, like if I'm selling it for this prices. And then when you go over to your price right here, we could also see exactly what margin it's selling at. And then we can also see the cost as well from Amazon fees. Yeah, so that's something that we've done, so people can instantly see what their profits are. Something else that we did earlier is also we added, let's say, the price looping feature that we talked about.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then one of the things for people with suppressed buy box, and right now there's different people who would use these options. Let's say for people who there's no suppressed buy, there's no buy box, they could use the lowest price or the FBA lowest price plus a certain amount, so that they're still competitive, but they're not at the lowest price. And this way they can still get orders from the suppressed buy box while they get more profits, and they could still be competitive, and they have more control over their pricing as well. So I think there's a couple other things that we have implemented, but I think these ones are most applicable for Q4. Yeah, the price looping, the suppressed buy box, also more integrations as well that we've done, including with BoxSim and also Seller Amp as well. Yeah, so basically there's a lot of features that we think will be useful for people who want to get more profit as well. Yeah, so those are the features that we released. We'll continue to be releasing new features out as well.
So 2 questions or two last topics that I'd love to hear about.
Absolutely.
First, what is on the horizon for BQ? What are you guys BQool? What are you guys working on? And second, if you would just touch on pricing, and I can bring your screen up again.
Okay. So what we have, 2 things on the horizon, right? Yeah. First, we have new features that we'll be releasing out. And we also have a new software for private label sellers. Yeah, I can't go into too much detail, but we have something for private label sellers that's going to help to optimize. It's going to also using our AI technology, because our core technology is our AI competency, because we have it for a long time, and we continue to have engineers. A lot of the engineers have been with us since we started to have AI. So we continue to develop new features as well. And then so we'll have some products for private label sellers. Yeah, that'll be very useful for them, which we'll share more detail. We continue to improve our repricer as well. And then we have these different updates, but mainly the new AI tool for private label sellers. That's something that on the horizon. And we have some other new features that we reduce. Another feature I didn't talk about, and I think you actually asked about this in the past. I reviewed the records. Is we have the reduced profit range. So let's say for items, in the past, I think it might have been you or someone else. They asked us about back in the days. There's the small and light products or the low FBA fees. Yeah. So now we have that built into our repricer, which is the reduced profit range. And for the reduced profit range, for everyone who may not be familiar, is let's say you're selling an item, let's say a grocery item for $10, you get a certain amount of referral fee, and also FBA fulfillment fee if it's a low FBA fulfillment fee. And then if it goes to $10.01, then you get charged a different rate. Let's say you charge 15%. So we've built the reduced profit range into our AI repricer. So it's automatically turned on for all the AI repricing rules. So that can help you get more profits. And we skip the ranges where you're making lower profits to optimize on getting you more profits and then putting you in those price ranges that get you more profits. Yeah, so that's something we already have that was already released that everyone could use. And I think you asked about this in the past, right?
I'm sure I have, because I love the small and light program. That is a big, it's such a huge difference, that just over $10 fee and the under $10 fee. So if you're hovering around those, you really, really need to look at it, because your margins are already small at that point. So every little bit is going to count. And usually you're doing a volume-based type of business, especially if you're private labeling and you're doing, say, a small kitchen gadget. I'm working with a client right now that's doing a measuring scoop type of spoon that's for like workout powders and stuff. And, you know, her price point is right around that. So that's a huge impact, that over and under $10. So that's awesome.
And then you ask about the pricing, and the pricing is the good part. Yeah, we have different pricing for different people. Yeah, depending on their needs. Yeah, and then we start from $25 and up. We would recommend the $50 plan because it has all the different AI repricing rules, and also it gives you 100 AI listings and 5,000 rule-based listings as well. So the way that we price, we don't price based on your sales. We just price based on the ASINs. Yeah. So if you're 100 ASINs make $200,000 a month, you're just paying $50. And you know, also you know, we start out at a very affordable price point, which is very friendly for new users. And the last thing we wanted to talk about is we actually have also for your community, Lucy, we have something special. We have a coupon code which gives you 50% off for your first month. Yeah, so you would actually get, let's say on the $50 plan, you get you only pay $25 for the first month. Yeah, so our recommendation is to first get a free trial, and then use Lucy code, and this code will last until the end of December. Yeah, so make sure to use the coupon code in Q4, so you can immediately start using these repricing settings to get you the most amount of profit in Q4.
Well, thank you very much. That is a really good code, and I appreciate it. I'm sure everybody here who's thinking about repricing appreciates it as well. And I do have to say that your prices for what you get are really amazing. We look at repricers as a community, I don't know, quarterly, maybe twice a year. And there's been a couple others that are in the industry. And when you look at what they offer versus what you pay for and what you get, some of them get really expensive. We're talking hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And a lot of people just starting out on Amazon, you would be surprised at how much that $50 a month is going to get you in terms of sales and velocities. It's going to kick your business in the butt and launch it going forward. Just well worth every penny. If you are kind of like on the fence, because maybe $50 is a lot to you. Everybody's at a different stage. And what was the other one? $25. It was 25 and then 50.
$25 with AI repricing.
That is amazing. I remember when the AI first came out, it wasn't included in the base price. So
No.
definitely good to update my knowledge there. But even the $25 plan, that's pretty affordable for most folks. And I would say the $50 a plan is well worth it to get those extras, are worth the extra $25 a month for sure. And of course, if you're doing a lot of business, then I'm sure some of the other plans make more sense as well. But if you're just starting off and you're doing retail arbitrage, absolutely worth the $50 every month for sure.
Yeah, you look at it as an investment, right? It saves you time. If your time is worth less than $5 an hour, then it's definitely it'll cover all the time you'll save, and it'll get you the extra profits and the extra sales as well. Yeah, so it's really a no-brainer, basically. Yeah, all the larger sellers, all of them are using repricers.
You can't compete with the other sellers without a repricer. And your time is valuable. It's saving your time. And then if you are trying to reprice manually, or you have a VA repricing manually for you, it's just, you're not going to compete with AI. You're just not going to. The computer thinks all the time and makes thousands of little decisions based off data. And that's what you want. You want your data, your pricing to be based off data, and it can take your competitor's price and the historical price amounts and what you want and your cost of goods, and you really have a lot of control, because you can say, I want a 30% ROI and here is my cost. I don't know if we didn't really highlight it, but when you put in your cost, there's also like a shipping fee that you can put in. So
Yes.
if you typically like I usually put in 50 cents. It typically costs me about 50 cents an item to put into Amazon. So it takes all of those costs and then can say, okay, and what my 30% ROI is going to be. And it calculates with all of the Amazon fees as well. And if you were to do this manually, you'd go insane. I've tried. It's too hard to do manually. You need the computer to help
Absolutely. Yeah, it saves a ton of time. It saves, and it makes you much more competitive as well. And I think the most important thing is, you want to be able to try something different than what you're doing right now. If you're not getting the results, if you're not getting sales right now for your Amazon listing, if it's taking you a lot of time right now, if you're not getting enough profits, basically you're getting not enough profit for the unit that you have worked so hard to source, then you could just try the 14-day free trial. And then just use it during that time period. And then if you see a result, then continue to pay for the software. If it doesn't work for you, hey, no hard feelings.
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Samuel, for coming online again. It's always nice to see you.
Absolutely, Lucy. It's a pleasure to always come and join your community, share our latest updates. And thank you for inviting me. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. I believe, if I remember right, you sell on Amazon as well, right? Are you ready for Q4?
We sell on Amazon, but our focus now is just on the software. Yeah, and then more on the private label side. Yeah, so we don't compete with any of our customers. Yeah.
All right, perfect. Well, thank you. You have a great evening.
Thank you.
Best of luck for Q4 sales.
You too, as well. Yeah, thank you for your time today, Lucy. Cheers.
Cheers.